Hi, welcome everyone to another session of Human Manual. There are manuals for every machine in this world except the most powerful machine, and that is the human machine. The most beautiful machine is our human machine. Let's take a little peek into that machine today. Let's take a peek and see how the human machine works. People are finding different avenues of displaying their wealth. There's always people who respect other people who have money. So instead of talking, what is another way of showing off your wealth? Is to display and show that you've got the largest house in the neighborhood, you've got the best jewelry, you've got the most expensive clothes, you've got the best cars. As they say, money is a great servant but a terrible master. You know, due to our capitalist system, a very small percentage of people own the majority of wealth. When we grew up, we had such little money. We were from a lower middle class. I remember playing with things that did not cost anything. We as children played with, we used to go to like bus stands and collect bus tickets and play with those bus tickets. Or we would go to a soda place in a shop which served like Coca-Cola and some of those other cans. We used to take those corks and play with that as tools. We played with marbles, which hardly cost. We played with kites. So I don't think my parents really spent any money as far as toys to make us happy. We really, as children, because of the neighborhood that we grew up in, kind of came up with our own things to play with, and we played with that and we were very happy. Thank God, and that is the best lesson in life I remember learning as a child. Today, unfortunately, in today's society, children buy the most expensive toys. Parents feel the bigger the toy, the better the toy you give your children, the happier they will be. I mean, they feel they want to keep their child happy. They do not want to see them unhappy. Unfortunately, not realizing what it's doing to the child. One of the secrets of life that I have learned is to learn in simplicity. So if you are used to having a lot of wealth, if you're used to having the most expensive toys, then unfortunately when you grow up, that whole thing sticks throughout your life. What your parents think as a child they gave you so that they can make you happy, unfortunately may in many cases stem out to be the most reason for unhappiness. The basic forming years of our life are when we are young. That's the time when all the formations in our mind, in our body takes place. That's where we form our habits. And that's the most critical time to keep things as simple. Please, be rest assured, your child will find his own way of creating happiness. All he needs is friends to play with more than money, because no toy can give him the stimulation of playing around with friends. Fortunately, we in India grew up in a society where there were many of us. We grew up playing around with several friends around us. The stimulation that you get being around with friends and family and the values you create by being around them are far better values than having the most expensive toys. Keeping your life in simplicity will take you a long way, will remain with you all your life. Now when it comes to clothes, you could be very happy with the simplest of a shirt and a pant, or you could have the best designer clothes. Women can have the best designer clothes and it may not bring you happiness. The only time I remember having new clothes was during Diwali. The rest of the time, it is always the same old clothes. Wash and wear them, wash and wear them. And very rarely did we even have any of these fancy, there was no such thing as a branded label or a designer clothes. As there's a famous quote, that man is the richest whose pleasures are the cheapest. So the cheaper your pleasures, the richer you are. Just to give you another example, Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, still lives in the same house that he bought 60 years ago, still drives a very mediocre car, still drives to the same McDonald's every morning for breakfast and eats his same $3 breakfast every morning. He ate the same breakfast 60 years ago as he's doing today. And today, he is one of the richest person in the world, having more than $70 billion of wealth. We all want lots of money. The more we have, the more we want. You know, if someone has $1,000, he wants $10,000. If someone has 10,000, he wants 100,000. 100,000 to a million, to a billion. There's absolutely like no end to it. You want to keep adding those zeros. You want to keep adding those zeros. Guess why? You want those zeros because you feel the more billions you have, the happier you're going to be. It's like a bullet train. You feel you're going to reach your destination faster by having those zeros. You know, we're all chasing this mirage. We all feel the more billions we have, we'll just reach our destination faster. We're not making those billions for what they are. We're not making those billions just to save the piece of paper or a certificate from a bank saying how much money we have. The reason we want those billions is because we want to reach our ultimate destination, which is happiness. It's like, you know, it's like wanting to get there faster and faster and faster. You could probably be happier today than the richest person in the world. It is not the 2,000 rupee note or the 1,000 rupee note or the $100 bill that you like. It's just a piece of paper. There's nothing great about that paper. What you like is the power of the paper to buy. You feel it is a tool, it can help you to reach your destination. But then again, it depends what your destination is. It depends upon how much you attach importance to the money. As long as you use money as a tool and not as a master, then it's fine. But before you know, you become the tool and money becomes the master. Before you know, your entire life circulates around money. You move around in a society which only talks about money, which only reflects money, which only shows off their wealth, and it plays on your mind. One of the biggest reasons of disagreements is money. Whether it's husband and wife, father and son, brother and sister, in-laws, money plays a major role. Some of the biggest families, some of the most wealthiest families in the world have broken out because of money. Money has split them apart. So, if you put money in proper perspective, it will at least give you reason to be happy. It is all within your mind. It's all within us. How much importance you give to money. Which category do you belong to? Do you belong to I have enough money? You belong to I do not have enough money? You belong to, well, I wish I could have more money? Or you belong to, I want to be super rich? I want to be extreme rich? So it all depends upon your aspiration. How much you really want to, how much you need to be happy? How much you need to live? First, we always talk about, listen, if I have enough money to live without stress the rest of my life, I'll be very happy. Well, let me tell you something. I felt the same way. I felt if I have enough money to live the rest of my life, I'll be very happy. I crossed that bridge many years ago. Like me, there are many people who crossed the bridge years ago, and guess what? They're still in the same position as far as happiness goes. They're not content. Then they keep moving their goalposts, and then they do not know what they are chasing. Money, they just keep going after money without realizing what they're doing. It's like a drug, and we keep chasing something. It's like a mirage. You keep following, you keep running after that mirage, not thinking that it's going to bring you happiness, but then there's no end to it. I mean, there's a limit to how much you can buy, how many clothes you can wear. There's a limit to how much wealth one can spend, and does that really bring you happiness? No. So, what is more important? is to understand where you are and what is the source of your unhappiness or the source of your happiness. You know, money cannot buy everything. Money cannot buy peace. Money cannot buy time. Money cannot buy fresh air. Some of the best things in the world are free. We all have within us to be happy no matter where, in what stage of our life we are in. The goal of different people is different. The people who are in the lower segment, I think you should definitely aim to get the money. Your goal should be to have your basic necessities and your just simple luxuries that you may crave. You need to have those fulfilled. Once if those are fulfilled, and once if you are moving beyond, then you got to watch as to what role that extra money is going to play. Some of that extra money can really create havoc in our life. It can create fights within your family. As you know, some of the richest people in the world are not necessarily the healthiest people. The key is to understand what money does, how important it is, how much money do you require. We all have different zones of happiness that we need to get to. If you have X amount and if you have a dream, a craze, if you just let your life be revolving around wanting to have more and more money, that could be a biggest source of unhappiness. It's important to look back upon some of the things that have brought you pleasures in life. See when you were the most happiest, and chances are it's not the richest choice. It is he who craves to have more who's poor. Reflect on it, go back to our life, enjoy the simplicity. Thank you all for giving us your time today and watching the video. This is Sammy Nanwani signing off. We look forward to seeing you in another session. Thank you. God bless.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let us know what you think of it in the comments below. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. Thank you.